The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
Hot in the desert here as the season comes to a close, and we have ourselves at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Presents ourselves with variable banking here in the desert, just outside of the casinos. Who will roll 777s and get the jackpot, and who will end up broke and upset? Well, we have 115 laps to answer all of those questions. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage of the Triple Bypass Racing League and their Nichols Oils Pro Cup Series, the OBD Birthday Bash. Tex Nichols himself celebrating his birthday here with 115 lapper here at Sin City, and we are happy to give all of you the action here today. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck per usual, and of course Brad, Mr. Dalton, here to help me out with all of the calls. So Brad, fresh off a NASCAR Cup Series race that ended about 15 minutes ago. No spoilers because it's hot and fresh on everyone's mind, but let's go do it virtually here. Very competitive track for these next-gen cars.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I don't know who's feeling lucky here in Vegas, but I'll tell you right now, I am feeling pretty lucky to get some sim racing on a Sunday night and get to do this wonderful thing that I get to do in my free time called broadcasting and commentating. Looking really good here. I'm excited to see how this goes. A big happy birthday, of course, has to go to Tex Nichols, the man, the myth, the legend himself. And then we'll see how things go. There's a lot of fun things Tex is doing as little bonuses for his birthday to give back to other people, not just himself, which I thought was interesting because I figured everybody would be giving him a great time here.
Yeah, exactly that. Again, the sponsor, the primary sponsor here of this series, the Nichols Oils Pros Cup Series for the Triple Bypass Racing League, and a lot of different drivers have chosen to go along with the contest here to paint their own AMSOIL livery and or paint scheme, depending on your side of the spectrum there. So we'll see who the favorite's going to be. I know Brad had a vote in that, as well as some other drivers, so we'll see, or other people, so we'll see who wins that contest. Probably not going to be Ward Fisher. I don't think that 84 is going to be winning any prizes here today, but let's take a look here at the point standings. Actually, let's put that on screen, just because, again, Tex Nichols being the driver here of note. But our point standings here after 7 races. I don't know why I said we're so far into the season. I don't even know how far we are into the season, Brad. What are we, about halfway in? 2/3 in? Whatever we are, but we got 5 playoff lock-ins. And as you can tell there, our 12 will make it in. And pretty tight there on the bottom of the standings.
I mean, we're over halfway through the season, so at this point, I think we know who the favorites are for the season. Again, I'm going to say it as I say it every week. The fact that Steve McClendon hasn't gotten a win yet is a little shocking, but the fun of playoffs is, well, sometimes you don't necessarily need to get a win through the regular season. Just race your way in and run it well in the postseason. Lots of drivers have had great form, and here in just a few seconds, we're going to see who can really put it together here in Las Vegas, Sin City.
Yeah, a very important race here. Again, exiting the Roval last week, which I didn't get to cover, but Brad did that along with our friend Andre Groundbush Dirt, as we call him. And next week, heading to the oddity of a road course with Portland, then to Martinsville and Pocono, a very difficult end to the regular season. So this is the last quote-unquote normal track on the regular season. But good opportunity to give everyone a thanks for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button on our mission of 1,900 subscribers. Could just use a little bit of help from you guys to help us get there if you've not already done so. But let's head down trackside. These drivers are getting ready for today's race, and let's join them down there and let them know where they're starting tonight, Mr. Brad.
Yeah, starting out on pole, it's Michael Hopkins with Twisty Bits Racing in the number 10, and Daniel Williams there in second place to his outside. P3 coming through, going to be Jeremy Brown with Kyle Gresh from Silent Z Racing there in fourth. Sean Bradley, P5 from Canada in the C View number 77, and Christopher Melton in sixth place. From there we go P7, Dylan Freeman, and Dustin Barton is going to find his way there to the outside. P9, William Emmert, and then Steve McClendon, the big multi-time championship, not got a win yet. He's going to start it out on the top 10.
Double one spot, or 1T1, as I saw on TikTok. Keith Handel in there is going to have that position in the Pump King Mobile with Alan Gunman there. He's quick in ARCA. I can hardly beat him there. He is in 12th. 13th is the Red Machine, the Red... We got to come up with a nickname for that. The Red Bandit, whatever you want to call it. He's in 13th. Ken Squire, no relation to Ken. He's going to be in 14th. 15th is Matt Harmon with Jason R. Benson in 16th spot. 17th, we'll find the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tex Nichols out of Candler, North Carolina, and the Wooster. Remember, he won a race about a week or two ago. He is in 18th. 19th and 20th finds Adam Shaw, number 2. He's not as good as the first one, but Nicholas Deal is going to be in 20th.
Moving up from there, Jeff Slaughter and P21 with Al Corey, the big boss man, in 22nd. 23rd, Donald Ristow and Ben Harcum will find 24th. From there we go, P25, where it's Alex Goff and a great Diet Coke theme with the cat, meow, Derek Cat, in 26th place here on the night. The Naj, who I can announce is the winner of tonight's paint contest in P27, and Joshua Corner in the corner in P28. From there, we're going to go P29 with Nerney, P30 with Dewey, and then 31st, rounding things off, Brian Davis, 32nd, Peter Dillon, and I believe that is going to be all here. But Naj Crutchley, John the Naj, start for P27. He has the best looking paint as voted by a non-biased pool here on the night.
Yep, I know we had a say in making sure that was the case, and making sure that it was an unbiased victor there. So the best paint award going to go to the number 48 in a $25 cash prize. As well goes affiliated with that. But our race details here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 115 laps around here. The mileage on that, multiply it times 1.5. I can't do it in my head. Stage is going to be at lap 40, 55% fuel, one backup car. We have not been privy to the tire fall off and fuel numbers, so we get to do our favorite thing in the world, Brad, and guess about what's going to happen. You know we're pretty good at doing that.
I mean, I don't think you're too bad at it. You're better than me at it, at least. Let's say that. So now if we were running, some sort of road racing, I'd probably be a little bit better. Pace car pulls off here. Corey, this is going to be fun. 180 miles to do the math for somebody as we come down to the Echo Park restart zone. And we are green here with Michael Hopkins at number 10, looking to pick up a win here today. He'll at least be trying to lead through lap 1.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway has the propensity to race as a pack-style super speedway, at least for the first 5-10 laps. So this is when these drivers are going to want to get everything that they are capable of doing, get that track position, use those tires when they are fresh, and give you all that grip that you need here on this multi-groove, dynamically banked surface here. Michael Hopkins going to get a good advantage by about 2 car lengths on lap number 1. Jeremy Brown, someone to always watch out for. He's pretty competitive. And then side-by-side, Williams and Bradley, their first side-by-side for third.
And seeing that third place here coming around, everybody trying to hold their way through, keep their way ahead. Michael Hopkins holding on here as he goes through up front. Still looking side by side, Sean Bradley, Jeremy Brown holding on here for third. And behind them, it is Kyle Gretschko and Freeman who are also trying to go through. Great view off of the back of Jeremy Brown here at all those battles starting. And you see how they fan out, come to the start-finish line, and then they kind of come together. It reminds me a little bit of... wow, I just lost my thought process. You know what? Let's ride on board with Keith Hamlin.
Yeah, through that 1 and 2 here, Las Vegas, a track paved in, I want to say 2007. They reconfigured it from 12 degrees up to the dynamically banked 18 to 20. Whether that's a good thing or not is up to your individual opinion. But turns 1 and 2 on the bottom line is objectively very bumpy and does get that car a little loose. These are custom setups. Again, we don't really know how they drive. I haven't taken laps. We haven't gotten any information, but Steve McClendon, who usually gives us that information, didn't give it to us here, that little secret holder there. But I think that was the 13 car of Dustin Barton. I think he hit the concrete, and Jason Benson is save it, save it, save it!
Oh.
Saved it.
Well, that for Benson was impressive. Let's say that as we go back here for a quick replay. Let's watch how this one went down.
Contact from Ward.
Yeah, Ward gave him a nice little bump and run there. Not, I think, what he intended to do, but it looks like just there for the moment, and then they were 4 wide ahead.
Is it premature, Brad, to give him that prize? Is it premature?
Nah, I don't think it's premature.
Nah, they're driving good.
How did you save that car? Well, I'm just so daggone good.
Ricky Rudd, Save of the Race Award. If you don't know where that clip came from, 2001 Chevy Monte Carlo 400. After Kevin Harvick tried to turn him there, probably a third of this field wasn't even born then, which is very sad to say. But Sean Bradley pulling off his Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, no longer Kyle Larson impression. He doesn't run that line anymore. He was whipping the fence in 3 and 4 with a vengeance. Let's see what he does here through 1 and 2. He's going to ride the bottom and get interrupted by a caution flag, and it's Ward.
Oh, Ward, what happened to the Fisher here? Did he try to go fishing? Let's go back here. Catch a quick replay.
He was a bad luck recipient here. 52 car of Christopher Melton. I think there may have been contact with Handlin.
Ooh.
Have to get another look at that. Again, the 52 of Melton.
Melton just melting away.
Yeah, he just got loose by himself. Yeah. Loose, loose, loose. Up the track. Who was that? That was Barton, who just got cremated there. Hopefully he didn't want a casket. Oh, and then after the fact, the Wooster. The Wooster and the 45 of Al Corey came in. Now, I don't like spending too much time on replays, but we have to see what the heck.
Let's say we'll give this one more here.
All right, the Wooster did not ARCA break that. I will give him credit. But what happened to Al?
Ow.
Oh, he cut so hard to evade Barton that he spun himself out.
How did you
We've all done that once or twice, but that'll be our first caution.
Well, I'm just so daggone good.
Let you have your fun in the sun. AKA, I forgot to turn the source off after the video played. That's my own fault. But let's see here. Now, our stage is at lap 40. We only have 1 set of tires to avail, so you're not going to want to put the tires on, but if there's concern over fuel, this may be a good decision to top off to get you to that stage break.
Yeah, typically the stages are right on the line of fuel, and they kind of do that on purpose here in Triple Bypass. They try to set it up where it's just right on that borderline where you may make it, you may not. You have to drive a little smart, and this will sort of set everyone up into a point where they don't have to really think about it. They can just run to the end. Now, Hopkins and Sean Bradley, obviously we've only done 9 laps. They're not thinking it's going to be too much of a problem to make it through, I guess. this or not thinking tires are going to be an issue, and they're just going to be looking to keep this going. So interesting to see that they decided not to pit.
All right, Brad. So we got two things to do here. Would you rather me ask you a question, or would you rather look at the back bumper of Dylan's car per his request?
Let's look at the back bumper of Dylan's car, because I think this is an interesting request.
So this takes a little bit of work. Now, Keith, you're going to have to do us a solid here, and you're going to have to get closer.
He's not gonna. Is he?
Because I don't have a camera that will. All right, top 30 and Tex gets AMSOIL'd up. Does that mean Dylan's going to buy Tex's product if Dylan gets a top 10? Or does that mean he's going to lube him up with his own oil? That sounds terrible.
I don't like the answer either way. I don't really want to know the answer, to be honest. 1 to green, I can tell you that much. And Hopkins started on pole, is currently running in pole. But Sean Bradley, we know Sean Bradley's feisty. This should be a good one. This should be
quick
a
question,
good
Brad,
restart.
and for anybody in chat, anybody watching, oscillating fans, would you rather have it point at you, or do you prefer it oscillating?
I'm going to make a very, very bold statement here. I've never understood the point of having a fan that doesn't point at you.
I have my fan here in my room as it gets very toasty in here with my computer heat, and I put it on oscillating mode, and I think I'm preferring it. I'm still figuring that out here. So,
and I mean, to each their own. I just don't know why you wouldn't want it to point at you personally.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe in the it has a remote and an app too, so if I get bothered by it, I could change it remotely. So cool little pieces of useless technology here. PTR TV, random useless facts. But a fact that is not useless is the fact that we are about to go back for our first official restart of the day into the Echo Park, almost said Geico restart zone. Hopkins and Bradley caught snoozing here as they get on the loud pedal. And look at Derek Katz. This is the highest he's been really all season here, going for P2.
Yeah, definitely looks like he is in a great position here, trying to bring his way forward there. Gets around Sean Bradley. Great move for him as we continue along here. Watch everybody trying to get it together. Looks like they're around that P12 position with Tex, kind of going almost 3 wide up in the front, though. Everyone really trying to hold on here. Further back again, just outside the top 10. That's really where I think we're going to see some hard charges come through as they go through. Michael Hopkins dropping all the way off the flat there and going back up onto the banking.
Now that car is a slick ride there. Just got a little bit damaged up there with a kiss to the wall there. Josh Corner there, the old good old USA with a bald eagle flag there. That car didn't win the contest, but got my little unofficial vote there. But the pumpkin car of Keith Handelin there, trying to rip that outside. Seems to be the preferred way around turns 3 and 4 here at Las Vegas here this evening, and we are interrupted.
And that was Naj, I believe, that was in that one. And Benson. Looks like a few people involved in that one.
Yeah, a couple guys down pit road. We know at least Benson is now 0 for 2 on the day of evading cautions, and we will dial up our replay. Okay, oh my goodness gracious. 48. You called it. Naj won the paint scheme race, but he didn't. And there was something ahead of Naj too, actually. Who got dead sideways there?
Everyone's got AMSOIL on, so I can't. Oh, Slaughter got slaughtered, and then Naj got slaughtered even more by Fisher. I mean, Fisher just absolutely steamrolled Naj.
Slaughter took it behind the wall. Now, remember, they do have fast repairs, but Slaughter took it behind the wall. Yeah, he just got loose, which is name of the game there. And, Ristow also. Ward, Nerney. Luckily, he was slow enough to evade. But, yeah, loosey-goosey by yourself seems to be the name of the game here.
We've got someone facing backwards here on the exit of 4. Who is that?
Do we Dewey do what?
What is happening?
They were waiting for the pace car. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, who was that? The 29 cat.
That's my rewinding sound.
That almost looks like a hardware failure.
No, he was going so slow in the track because it's banked there. When he did decide to give it the beans, it just, the banking and the beans did not go together. And then there goes Dewey essentially doing the same thing. Interesting start to this ODB. Old dirty bastard. Bastard, I don't really call that one of the no curse words, but old dirty bastard. 115. I don't make any inferences to the cleanliness level of Tex Nichols. He could be the old clean bastard, you know, but for this sake, he is dirty. And still running, still chugging. I think he's evaded the accidents in the 14th spot.
I think this is the highest we've seen Tex run this season. Not to throw anything out into the wild there, but usually we say it with Tex time and time again. If he doesn't have bad luck, he has no luck. But right now he's running solid in the position he's in, looking pretty steady, and we'll just see how the night continues to play along here as well, everyone manages to find some sort of luck in Vegas.
Yeah, hopefully the case here is we are getting doubled up, let me addendum that fact. We're getting singled up, stacked up, and ready to go back green flag racing. As you know, admin will make calls on the fly here in triple bypass, so if the racing is not going to their liking, they will make the calls on the fly. And I tried somehow to pull off the whole Beyonce, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it, you know, in vain of being single, but couldn't quite do it. But we are going to be single. Can't think of any other song that has single in it. I'm sure there is one, but either way, let's see how this goes. And you can see how far back the field strings. We're entering 3, and the end of the field's going all the way back to the back straightaway. McClendon being last on the chain there.
You know, I was going to try to think of a single joke there to save you on that, but I really can't. As we come through, Hopkins will be liking the single file run here. Derek Cat, I think, might try to take advantage here and get a good run on the start. Let's see what happens here as the pace car pulls off. We're going to come through, head towards that Echo Park restart zone again. Single file. Let's see how everyone gets away. It seems like the field getting moving here fairly well. I don't see any major checkups down the back, and everybody gets rolling here fairly good. Going into turn 1, they're already fighting for position.
Yeah, we won't be 2-3 wide pack racing, which may or may not be the goal here with the admin call to spread the field out in this manner. So that may get us going here. Eventually, you know, the tires do start to wear here at Las Vegas, and then you get to the point where the aero push comes in, and it does turn more into a skill race as Kunman drives deep underneath Dewey there, all the way down to the bumpy apron. Gonna blend back up, and then he's gonna have to fight through the bumps. Dewey's gonna have the smoother surface in the banking of the middle line. Maybe a little side draft there. They'll do that to pull each other back and race door to door down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and holding on to that door-to-door running through. Let's see what Dewey can do here coming around, and he's going to hold that high line here heading in out of 4, and now coming down the front stretch. Kyle Dewey able to hold on against that number 3 at Kunman and finds his way holding into P4 as we go to lap 18, heading towards stage at lap 40.
Up stage at lap number 40, and our top 6 or so still have yet to pit here in the race. So we'll see how those tires. Actually, nobody took tires, of course, so we just have the different fuel loads here. But I think, Brad, typically it's around 30-35 laps, somewhere in that ballpark on these mile-and-a-halfs, just going off of memory, which, as we know, is not usually that great. But we've had 3 cautions already, so maybe, just maybe, those drivers who did not pit will be able to make it if indeed this does stay the course.
Yeah, think that is the case. I'd be inclined to agree with you based on my limited knowledge. So I'm going to tell you that you're right, and then if you're wrong, I'll just say that, well, Corey is the professional here. Riding on board with Dylan Freeman, who has beat Steve at Daytona once here, trying to hold on in a battle up in the mid-pack here going through. Let's see what he can do as he's got that 78. Ben Harkham to the inside. This is just outside the top 10, but it feels like the mid-pack, the way they're all scrunched together racing going through and still holding that battle. Very true.
And up front, getting a little bit juicy here as Kunman working his way through the field and turns into a guessing game. That is kind of how this next gen race is, and it's very well emulated here at Las Vegas, where you can do different lanes, and of course you want to get that clean air on the nose, you want to get that downforce, you don't want to drive directly in the trail of the car ahead of you. So you're, again, just as they do in the real world, Brad, you're having to guess what line the guy in front of you is going to run, and then running somewhere else to get that downforce on the nose.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting skill to acquire of guessing where the guy in front's going to go, and it takes a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and just a lot of guesstimation, honestly, as you go through, as we watch these battles continue along here. Look at that 3, Alan Cummin taking on Daniel Williams here, going high, and a very, very clean into 3, getting ahead. He's going to hold on here, and they've got Kyle Gresh, who we know is fast, coming up behind him there on the exit of 4, because in front, you've got Jeremy Brown, Kyle Dewey going side by side, as the top 3 hold single file and hold their gaps, and Jeremy Brown, Kyle Dewey swapping positions one way, swap it back the other. The more they go side by side, the more that lets Kunman, Williams, Gresh kind of reel things in, and it's going to start to really cause a problem for anyone who wants to get at the top 3.
Exactly that. And I see the top of the track here, quite literally, Cat all the way in that 3rd lane, and that's the 20 degrees of banking that technically is actually a little bit more grip too. Lesser usage of that top lane, a little bit more grit, a little bit more grip, using that longer way around, and it got him closer to the back bumper of the 10. But you saw he pushed through the wake of the 10 through 1 and 2. That cost him by about half a car length, but let's see if he can round the fence again and see if he could make some tangible ground up.
Yeah, I definitely think for Cat, running that high line is going to work. It just gives him a little bit better exit off the corner compared to Hopkins. But then Hopkins is able to sort of set things up and just block. Now we go through out into turn 1. He had a bit of a run, but he loses it there on corner entry. But again, running that high line, it's corner exit that really works out. So let's see here through 1 and 2. He holds behind. He's going to just settle in there and continue behind Hopkins into 3 and 4. He goes high line again. Hopkins blocks and goes a little bit high, trying to watch the air off the nose, trying to give a little bit of defense here and just watch what Cat is doing. Hopkins is truly driving out of the rear mirror right now more than he is looking ahead at the track, and that, as the leader of the race, is what you have to do when you've got someone quick behind. You're driving out of the mirror and kind of just wanting to battle with the car behind.
In this case, now what's Hopkins going to do? Got a little bit of a gap back. He's going to go back to his customary line, back to the bottom of the raceway. And Cat, oh my goodness, how did he not scrape the fence there? That is pure Larson-esque, well, old Larson-esque, but he had to back off, I think, to miss the wall, and that cost him a little bit of time. That's going to allow Jeremy Brown to get back into the mix as well, closing in to about 2 car lengths to the back of the 29.
Yeah, Jeremy Brown and Sean Bradley were running side by side there last lap. Now they've opened things up. Kyle Gresh in the background in P7 trying to hold off Alan Cunman, the number 3 up front here again. Derek Cat holding on to that high line. We drop back a little bit more, and you watch Cunman here, who taps the wall on the exit of 4. That's not going to help with his battle with Gresh at all. Behind him, Nicholas Deal, Hanlon, and Harmon really getting the elbows out there, going 3 wide behind them as they go. Harmon drops out of it, and that's going to let Hanlon and Deal try to figure out who goes where. And do we have a Coke and a Diet Coke car in the field?
Well, maybe a little affiliations there. And you always sneaking in your elbows out pun there, as if you're trying to promote our other series here on Primetime Racing TV on Wednesday nights, as a matter of fact. But Jeremy Brown, a prior winner this season, already locked into the playoffs and trying to add a little bit of extra points to his total there, trying to drive underneath Cat here, 10 to go in the stage, trying to make it happen close enough. He does have guaranteed fuel because he did pit And as they go side by side. But another driver there, Brad, you talked about him a few times already. We talked about McClendon not getting a win. He is putting around basically last, but much to everyone's surprise, Gresh still yet to visit Victory Circle as well. He's won in basically every other affiliate series, other partner league here, Triple Bypass, but hasn't gotten the Cup win this season.
Yeah, Gresh has ran up front multiple times. I wish I had the stat sheet in front of me to tell you how many laps Gresh has been up front, but he has ran up front. He's led races. He's had great moments there in the front of the field, but unfortunately for Gresh, it just hasn't come together for him. I'd be interested to see if this is the race where it does. He's currently holding P6. He's got a great battle going with Kyle Dewey and Alan Cundon right now as they go through, and Gresh runs that high line here, and I'd be curious to kind of watch and just see how things work out for Gresh through the run. He's one of many drivers here through the field that honestly, I think it's a matter of when, not if they get a win, but win a win, you know. Come on, that was good. You can laugh, Corey. Anyways, I'll be curious to see when McClendon's win comes. I want to say Portland next week is probably going to be a good one for him.
And yeah, Portland going to be a very interesting race next week. Did get a couple DMs from some drivers who had some interesting things to say. Interesting as in, why the hell are we racing at Portland next week? But it'll be fun. Big wide cars on a very narrow track that nobody has practice at. What could go wrong? So you'll want to definitely catch that if you like what you saw last week at the Roval. Then you'll probably like what will happen at Portland next week, same time, same place. But that's Sean Bradley getting into third. Gresh going to the outside. He clears for fifth on Daniel Williams, and Brown within 3/10 of Hopkins here, coming to 7 laps to go in the stage.
Yeah, at this point, we're nearing the end of the stage, and I think if you are Jeremy Brown, it's just putting pressure on Hopkins, and you either need to decide to really make that lunge in for the stage win, or kind of just, you know, resolve yourself with second place and just be okay with it. You get one of two options. I can tell you which one Jeremy Brown's picking. He's a race car driver. We don't really need to discuss that, do we? Eric Catt dropping down to 5th behind as Gresh has worked his way up to 4th behind Sean Bradley as we ride on board with Jeremy Brown here, who, let's see if he can get the run out of 4 that Derek Catt couldn't. He's got the run. He's got some pressure. What's he going to do here? Into 1. He's going to look high. He might clear him on the exit of 2. Let's see what he gets here as they go along. Just door, quarter panel. He clears them. New leader, Jeremy Brown, lap 35.
Yep, and that is a pivotal point that will, another playoff point to carry on into those next few races. And from what I remember about Jeremy Brown, Hopkins into the pits. So obviously, and Bradley, catastrophic. This is going to almost certainly cost them a lap.
Interesting to see them come in right here. That tells me that, well, at least for Hopkins, because he hadn't pit yet, he could not make it to the stage. But I think he's the only one who stayed out. I have a feeling there's a few guys here that are pitting in that are trying to flip the stage. But yeah, that's costing them 1 lap, if not more. So I think a couple of guys were going to try to be cheeky and flip the stage here, try to give up the stage points to flip their way to the front of the field. Unfortunately, I think more guys came to the pits than they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, this is a situation we talk about a few times. These caution races with a bunch of cautions in the beginning. And you know that a pit stop has to come at some point, and you keep saying to yourself, the next caution, the next and then you don't get that caution. They had three times to come in and get that fuel, and they chose not to do it. So don't quite get the call there. In the case of Hopkins, he is in the free pass position right now. That's going to be a race between Hopkins and Dewey. And actually, it won't be much of a race. So Hopkins will get the reprieve, but Catt and Nichols will be out to lunch. And Bradley, catastrophic issue.
Yeah, not good there for Sean Bradley. 46 seconds in the box. I have a feeling that was speeding the pits.
Yep, certainly.
Unfortunate to see there for him. The number 3 is in.
Yep, and this is the pits will be closed now as we come to the white flag lap. In fact, they were probably very close to being closed when he pit, so hopefully there was no issues there. But Jeremy Brown will come off turn number 4, take the white flag for the stage. Nobody else should be pitting this time because the pits would be closed for that. But lap number 40 on the board should be taking the white flag, and that'll be another playoff point for Jeremy Brown.
Yeah, it'd be great for Jeremy Brown here. Another playoff point. See what happens going through here as he comes around. He's got a great gap behind Kyle Gresh, I believe that is in second place, who is going to try to hold it off. Coming around here through out of 4, looking grand. And Jeremy Brown will take the stage here at Vegas. He felt lucky. He stays lucky. Gresh drops low and pulls second place there.
Yeah, that's good for him because then he is on the points right now. Needs those points, so he will be pleased about that. But again, Michael Hopkins should be our free pass recipient here. Got to wonder what's up with Steve McClendon because he stayed 21st that whole time by. No fast repair either. So actually, I could see some damage to McClendon actually. One of those wrecks. So I'm sure he'll use his fast repair, get some heavy damage, but. We'll get ourselves situated for the stage, watch some pit stops, and probably have a word with our stage winner. Not our stage winner, our race sponsor.
See here, it'll be interesting to see what everyone decides to do. I'm assuming everybody except for the few we saw into the pits there are going to pit in. No reason for them to not. As we go along here, for Jeremy Brown, it's a great run on his side, and we'll see if he can make this work to the end of the race here, Corey.
Yeah, very much to see what happens there. I'm trying to remember where his win came. It probably was at a speedway. He always seems to be super fast at the super speedways, but I don't have the standings right in front of me. But either way, I know he obviously won a race this season, him along with Dylan, who won at Daytona. Wu won at insert track here. Ty Bass, who is actually not here today. And then, of course, Sean Bradley locked into the playoffs. But everybody coming into the pits for their first pit stop. 3 sets of tires to avail. Let's use the first set right now. And should have about 21 drivers coming to the pits.
To answer your question, Jeremy Brown won at Auto Club, and seeing the drivers come through into the pits here, going along. Let's see. Looks like everyone having a pretty tidy pit stop so far. See lots of guys in the box. Gresh slid through his box. Not ideal for Kyle Gresh.
No, that may or may not cost a little bit. Somebody there, that I think that's the 52, Melton, missed his box multiple times there, but there goes Jeremy Brown exiting his stall. Gresh, did he get P2 out of that? That would have been pretty close. Hopefully he didn't speed.
I believe he did.
Hopefully he didn't speed because where he had such a bad pit stop, it'd be very surprising if he exited the pits in that position. But as we usually do here when we have a race sponsor and a caution flag, usually we have a word with that sponsor. So, Brad, I know you were a part of that contest. Maybe you can have a word here with Mr. Tex.
Yeah, let's find where Tex is floating around at here. Oh, where is Tex Nichols hiding at? There he is. Hey, Tex, it's Brad and Corey in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are y'all?
Not doing too bad. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I was trying to save 1 lap of fuel so I wouldn't go a lap down and have to pit, but I was short about 3/4 of a lap.
Man, you were running up there, top 15 for a while. It was looking pretty good. Also, happy birthday. I'm not going to ask how old you are, but happy birthday.
Well, I'll gladly tell you I'm 61 years old and proud of every day that I wake up and see the sunshine.
I would not have guessed you were that age, Tex, but I got to ask a big question here. You know, with AMSOIL, you bringing Nichols Oil Pros in and kind of being the Cup Series sponsor here as it goes through, kind kind of tell me about your sim racing background a little bit. I know we've talked about it before, but I don't think we've talked about it on the broadcast.
Goes all the way back to NASCAR 2003 and raced in leagues. And then when that went away and iRacing got started, I couldn't afford a new computer to meet the requirements. And so anyways, I took a hiatus for a while.
I got you. Tex, we're coming up to green, man. I'm going to let you go. Happy birthday again. Good luck for the second half of the race, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And back at it here as we go back to green, lap number 44. Fresh tires for the field, and they'll be side by side for second. As I don't know, they won't. Gresh will clear for that spot. Williams will get the third spot relatively easy. Nicholas Deal and William Emmert, highest those drivers have been here this race. And look at Zach Nerney. He evaded a wreck very early in the race and finds himself in the 6th spot in that number 36 automobile, but he's on the bottom of 3 wide.
He's on the bottom, almost 4 wide here. They're 3 wide behind. That's Harmon, I believe, getting squeezed up in the middle with the 15 going through. Everybody running these great paints for Tex, except for it's not great for me because I'm trying to read the numbers to tell who's who as we go through. Let's watch them continue around here. Great battles go through, and that 15 of Keith Hanlon in that automobile coming through ahead of him again. Nerney, Freeman continue to battle. It's yeah, Nerney was able to capitalize really well there on that stage run, go up 19 positions to the stage, and now he's just going to try to battle it through. I know he had his best finish here in the league Thursday night, and Xfinity finished in top 5, so he'd love to get a win under his belt, and, you know, he's not looking too bad tonight.
Yeah, not at all. Brad, do you know where this race gives some memories to? If we go back, I think it was the end of 2024, our Spartan Sim Racing League, where probably 25 cars all had the same exact paint scheme. Was that you?
Oh my gosh.
Or was that Andre? I don't remember.
No, that was me. I remember that because that was I think that was our final broadcast of SSRL, and they all ran tribute schemes, and we were like, we love it, but we can't tell who's who anymore.
Yeah, that's what we're getting shades of here with all these red, white, and blue AMSOIL cars. But again, we like the shout out to in the camaraderie with the drivers, the partnerships here in the Triple Bypass Racing League. And again, you can head to, I believe, the link in the description somewhere. And if you're looking for some motor oil or other automotive lubricants of sorts, Tex give you a good deal on that. Ships nationwide, so you can support the sponsor, get some high quality stuff in your automobile. But Kyle Gresh, we talked about him not having the win here on the season. He's won in ARCA, he's won in Xfinity, he's dominated the Triple Bypass Road Series, hasn't won the Cup race. He's probably listening, and he says, they're roasting me. I got to get on the wheel and go get me one.
Yeah, we'll see here what Gresh can do against Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown goes low. Kyle's going to go high here. Coming out of 2, holding on to it while he can side by side. Jeremy Brown holding the low line here, and Kyle Gresh just steaming his car through as he goes around. New leader Kyle Gresh on lap 50 of 115 coming around here to the line to make it official. But behind him, Daniel Williams, Nicholas Deal, they look feisty coming through. And then don't forget P5 there, Dylan Freeman and the trio behind. They'll start to close things up. Nicholas Deal says he might not finish. Well, he's looking like he's a big deal right now in that Coca-Cola car, except for when he taps the wall out of 2.
I've always been a Pepsi guy for about the first 32 years of my life. My wife, I'm not going to say converted me to Coke, but somehow I hate to say it, Coke Zero is better than Pepsi Zero. It pains me to say it, but I have to admit that sin of a truth there. So we don't have a Coke Zero car in the field. Maybe we can convince the 92 to do just that. Unless, Brad, I don't know, are you full sugar or are you a zero guy?
I drink diet or zero, depending on what there is. And Harmon, look at him get a dive down the inside around Freeman as Williams and Gresh continue to run here. Really, that battle right there, P6, P7, is where I have just a sneaking suspicion we're going to see something interesting there happen with that P6, 7 battle as they go through, because they're racing like they're running the final lap for the win.
Yes. Daytona 500 with $1 million on the line perhaps is the case here. That's so what it feels like there. Harmon having a good run. I feel like he's had some pretty bad luck as of late, and Freeman really hasn't been able to save much better. And Jeremy Brown power slide on the bottom of the racetrack. We already issued the Ricky Rudd Save of the Race award, but may have to share the trophy after that one.
I'd say we might have to send the trophy to the factory here. Hold on, let's ride on board here. Jeremy Brown there gets a little wiggly, little loose. Oh, man. I tell you what, I don't think watching that on a broadcast nearly does justice to how scary that is in the seat. Jeremy Brown, if you need underwear, just let us know.
Dan Williams may need some because he just put himself in the fence, but anybody who has that racing DNA into them, or that racing feel, if you do sim racing, if you watch it in the real world, if you do it in the real world, you could just feel it. Even just watching it on the screen, you could feel when a car got loose. And I was kind of clenching my own cheeks there as I watched that one get sideways, and really good job to reel it on in there. Hopefully the right rear tire isn't too angry with him, because a lot of times when that right rear gets hot, it does not ever get cool enough to get you that grip you had. But here is Nerney to the inside of Deal, diving it to the inside, and doing much better here is Nerney here on these ovals. Every race that he progresses, I know you told me, and we've talked to him, Brad, he ran ovals a lot, transitioned to road, and slowly with every triple bypass race, he's kind of getting that oval feel back.
Yeah, and again, I work with Nerney a lot in other oval stuff, so I spot for him Thursday night with the Xfinity Series. I spot for him Friday nights. He runs in a different league, and then sometimes, you know, just depending on what I have going on, I'll watch him race more ovals here and there as it goes in officials. So it's always interesting to kind of see where he's at. Steve McClendon up into P8 as well. We got to give a shout out to Steve as he's been trying to work his way back forward. He, again, not a great first stage, but now that we come up to the run here on the second stage, approaching half race distance, he is doing pretty okay right now, just trying to stay nice and steady going through. These guys up front continue to battle hard here, and again, we're past half race distance. You miscalculated there. Can't do math on numbers, obviously. That's why I commentate. But hey, looks like doing pretty good here. Everyone battling it out hard, and it'd be hard pressed to tell that we're halfway through this race.
Nerney going to P2 right here, all the way to the inside. Will he clear over Dan Williams? He will. So Nerney P2, half second to go to the racing. You were talking about officials. I told the triple bypass guys, told you. This guy, number one car, C-Fix, Chicagoland, won a race on tire conservation. It was bottom split, but I actually won a race, and I just need to let everybody know that as we have a wrecked Williams hard into the wall, through the grass, dancing tire fenders, keep it off the racetrack.
Oh.
Somebody got put into the wall there. I think that was actually Harmon.
No,
as a
not
residual
Harmon.
Impact. As we just bolstered
Goodness
how well
gracious,
that
that came out of
35
nowhere.
has been doing. And oh, my potato sauce. What in the world? Let's see. Underneath Deal, nearly 3 wide, down the back. Cloud's coming over. It's gotten rather dark. All right. Harmon dives it on in. Got loose, saved it, got loose again, loose. Hospital wobble.
Yep.
And then who was it? It was who was that other driver?
Was it 35?
Now we'll just get one more perspective here. See, I've been doing less production lately, and for some reason it's caused my my skills to go away when it comes to figuring this stuff out here on the back end.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who struggles with replays anymore. Make me feel a little bit better there, Corey.
Right, there's the impact.
Golly.
All right, now here is the right-hand hook.
So he has no right front at this point, too. I will say that. Like, he is just running with what he has.
All right, back at it. Now, I guess the part that was confusing me was the fact that while I was watching that replay, I had the ticker up on the side, and I was very confused that he actually managed to hold his track position relatively well. So that's why I was a little confused as to what I was actually watching there, but it seems as though
into the lead.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a variance up front with our strategies. 6.6 seconds, that's fuel only for Wu. Many guys are on 3 pit stops already, so we have a little bit of guesswork to do, Brad, which we always love with who's on what tire set. I would presume most of the field has 1 set left. Some may have 2. The Wooster going down to the inside. Is he pitting this lap? He is. So while this happens, again, we have to go over last week's race, our race recap at the Charlotte Roval. So while that goes on, we'll go briefly side by side, and we'll be back with you for the restart. Stay with us.
October 5th, 2025. The Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series hit the twists and chicanes of the Charlotte Roval for 40 laps of high-stakes road course racing. 4 different leaders, 8 lead changes, and only the stage break slowed things down for 3 laps, but otherwise it was game on through the infield and oval. The race was sponsored by Mark Jarrell, and the race title was the Rue Gros Roval 40, broadcast live on Primetime Racing TV. Thank you to Mark.
Chad Bear in car 91 had another incredible run. After starting from the pits, he started the race midfield, and by lap 25, he held the lead and never looked back. Bear just refuses to lose. Steve McClendon, piloting car 51, gave it a serious run. After starting 6th, he fought his way forward and finished just 3.4 seconds behind Bear. He clocked the fastest lap of the race with a 1:22 on lap 21 and held the lead for 3 laps mid-race.
Third place went to Keaton Crothers in car 809. He stayed smooth and mistake-free throughout, leading 2 laps and crossing the line 9 seconds off the lead. A great run by the 809.
Pole sitter Sexy Waltrip led the most laps with 20 on the board and held on to finish 4th. Sean Bradley rounded out the top 5, but wasn't able to lead.
As for Chad Bear, he didn't miss a beat. Smart braking, clean exits, and cool composure through 17 turns. That win was no accident. He earned every bit of it.
We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pro Series recap. We'll see you next time.
All right, we are back, and Brad, you literally said it as I was about to go back to air. We are under caution flag, and I believe it is Melton in the 52.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, as it came up and we were transitioning over, I looked over at my feed and saw a car spinning. How did that one come up? A lot of little help there to the 52.
Yeah. Got turned. We'll get one more look from the top down. Not too much to dissect there. It got turned by the 40-something car. May have been Brown, but again, they all look the same.
I think it was Benson, possibly, question mark.
We'll leave it up to the guessing work. But either way, a little slow spin there through the grass here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we will be under yet another caution flag as you just enjoyed our race recap of the Roval something to do with Scooby-Doo 40. Just kind of summarize that race for me, Brad, because I didn't get to listen to that clip with audio at all. What was the TLDR of that race last week?
Oh, yeah, the Roval, lots of hard racing up and down the field. Chad Bear showed up and absolutely spanked the competition, as Chad Bear does when he's here. Chad Bear is a great runner, but unfortunately, due to real-life conflicts, he's not able to make it nearly as often as he should. If you're his employer and you're listening, start giving him Sunday nights free so that way he can come race. But great runs from everyone. Lots of good battling. The chicanes were really fun to watch, and it was nice to have Andre back in the booth. He's always fun to have along, and getting to hang out with him in the booth is a lot of fun. And I got mistaken as Corey a couple of times, and so life was good. Things were good. Definitely, if you haven't gotten to watch it after this broadcast, I'd say go back and watch it.
Yeah, I have a good time with that. And again, prep yourself for another road course next week, and will be a very full week here on PTR TV, our fullest week in probably about a year. I think we get 4 live streams this week. Again, I start the week on Sunday, so I'm started on Monday, but I started today. This is our first race of the week. Then we'll be live on Tuesday with the ARCA series of Triple Bypass. I don't know where we're racing, but I will check in a jiff. We are racing at the 14th is Kern County Raceway Park. And then Brad will be live with EOR, Elbows Out Racing. You'll see Derny once again and some others on Wednesday night at a track that I don't know. And then we'll be back on Thursday with our E-Car late model stock series that we've reintroduced to the channel. So 4 races here to have some fun. Or if you're interested in joining any of the series, again, put some information in chat. We'll get you pointed in the right direction. But 1 to go, and it looks as though we're doing single file again.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out. Now, the big thing with single file is that as long as there's not a massive checkup out of 4 going into the restart, it tends to be okay. So the thing that you have to watch is that accordion effect can sometimes hit through the restart zone. So as long as that doesn't happen, things should be fairly good here for everyone as they go. Steve McClendon has worked his way up into P5, and I'm curious to see how that 51 Catamount Solutions race car does getting its way forward. It'll be interesting to kind of watch that pack work its way ahead.
We'll see what happens up front here. Nicholas Deal and that Coke car. We'll see what view he sees and what kind of jump he can get. And if you want Gresh's YouTube channel, there it is right on that rear deck lid. But green flag in the air, and the jump goes to the 27. 92 caught sleeping, maybe missed a shift on that, stacked them all up. Gresh out by about about half a second or so.
Yeah, Gresh getting through, but look at that behind the 92. McClendon, Nerney battling it out. You've got Hanlon in the mix as well. Hopkins trying to close up. So very quickly, the battles restart just as they were when we left it under caution. Going through, Harmon holding on to P3 here. McClendon's going to try to work the inside and try to work that car around low. Does so, and let's see if he can clear and get up into P3. Gresh still trying to take off half a second and gaining.
I'm going to go a little bit further back in the pack, even if there's not battles, because I don't think I have, as the producer here today, I'm a little rusty. Haven't done a good job going through the whole field today, showing some guys that we haven't covered here today. Someone we haven't talked about, Peter Dillon, very quiet run for him in that 73, relative new name, or maybe it's an old new name, not quite sure, but he's in the 16th spot. Adam Shaw, we haven't talked about him. He's in 19th as Emmerich kisses the fence. Josh Corner, very briefly talked about him. Melton has had a terrible day. Tex just got back on the lead lap. The boss man, Al Corey, back in 24th. Sean Bradley still, I think, recovering from that penalty. He's in the free pass spot if the opportunity comes up. And then you got Naj, who won the paint scheme event, the paint scheme prize, but he's running 2 laps down, last car on the pylon who's on the racetrack.
See somebody dropping down the leaderboard very quickly. I believe that was the number 5 car dropping down. I thought I saw him off on the grass in the front stretch, but no caution thrown. Everybody holds on here going through, and that 5 has lost some considerable time going back into the pack as we're continuing to watch battles all over the place here. I know we restarted single file, but I'll tell you right now that this is some hard-fought racing going on.
That was Handlin, who is not doing anything but as he hit the wall, and he was the one that was doing the agricultural assistance there. But back to live footage, and here comes McClendon, and again, it just makes you wonder, Brett. I mean, he had that damage, and he didn't repair it. And let's pull up our, let's check our back-end graphics here. He did take his fast repair, so he was putting around with a damaged car that whole first stint. Got that fast repair. Now he's able to do his normal Steve McClendon thing. But he needs to get by Deal, because all the while, Gresh is extending that gap.
Michael Hopkins into the pits here. This is an interesting moment to see that number 10 pitting in. And let's see, I'm assuming this is going to be so he can have fuel and tires to the end here.
At least just fuel. Yeah, fuel only, and he did the thing that pisses me off so bad, Brad. He just drove straight
through the pace car?
Well, not even that. Just drove through all the stalls. It's my Corey irk, which, as you know, a lot of things in life irk me. I'm a cranky old man in my early to mid 30s, but McClendon still can't get by Deal about an inch off the fence. Will that be enough for McClendon to clear? Answer is no. And then just behind that, you have Harmon and Nerdy. Nerdy, remember, he got up to second, but the restart didn't go his way. Now he's back to 4th/5th. I do think McClendon will clear this time by. Deal shouldn't be able to get that much momentum. So now move the 51 up to P2. 9/10 of a second to go. We'll have to get some live lap times and see who's the faster of the top two.
Yeah, it's looking like right now, as I see it, it is, let's see, it is by about a 10th McClendon over Gresh faster. Now the question will be, does it maintain that, or is McClendon just burning up his tires here? Is he driving a little bit too much, or did Gresh go a little bit too aggressive a little bit too early, and now he's going to drop down? So we go back here to the 73 yet again, who is having a great run again. You said it, a quiet run, a great run for him as he goes through and continues to hold that battle along against the 55 of Adam Shaw. Peter Dillon there trying to hold on, just keep himself through.
Someone into the fence there was one of these three drivers. Hopkins, again, just coming out of the pits for that fuel-only stop, and I guess it's a good opportunity for us to kind of do a little math here, which, of course, is our PTR TV favorite thing to do, as we are now 39 laps to go. We'll pull up our stint graphic. We won't pull up that graphic because it's broken, because I have to fix it. But we'll pull up our stints here in a second, because we will have one more pit stop in this race. And we will get our stints up. I pressed the wrong button and it threw me out of sequence. 16 laps, so the majority of these drivers will have to pit. We're at 20 laps, so that's 97. So Hopkins, he's still going to have to pit again. So really no idea what happened with his strap, but he's going to be a lap down, and he's still not going to have enough to make it to the end.
I don't know if Hopkins will have to pit.
That would be 40, almost 50 laps, so I'd be hard-pressed to believe otherwise, but you never know, as we do have some three
yeah,
wide.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, this is, well, Alex Goff just pit too, so we've had another driver who just...
And he took it behind the wall.
No, sorry, Alex Goff is out. Yeah, he's behind the wall, sorry. Trying to read and look ahead at the same time.
Yeah. It was just, from what I could tell, Hopkins, the last one to pit, is now three wide, the 55 and then 35. Dan Williams, remember, he had that catastrophic wreck, pulled out that backup car, but again, most of the drivers will have to pit right around 95 to 100. That'll get him to the end. Hopkins going to have to pit again, so his race, again, I don't know why he's that far off strat, but it is what it is. He is first car lap down if a caution comes out, but Brad, these kind of races, we talk about it all the time. These kind of races, the longer they go, that chance of a caution goes down, goes down, goes down. We're not seeing the self-spins anymore. We're not seeing the guys break dead loose. So it's going to be an incident-related caution, and they're spreading out more to make that less likely.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. And that strength of field at 2,000, again, triple bypass, they try to be very beginner-friendly, but they're very competitive here, especially on these Sunday nights. And overall, the league does have a cap of 4,000 iRatings. So seeing that 2,000 strength of field, you got a lot of strong, consistent drivers here that can make long runs work. That track temp 90 degrees, that's nice and comfortable here at a 3:30 p.m. virtual time. So the cars are right where they want to be. They're running right where they want to run, and really a lot of it comes down to the butt in the seat that is trying to make these cars work on these custom fixed setups here with these track conditions. And you really have to hold on to your own, keep it together. Don't overdrive the car, but don't be too nice to it. You got to put some pressure into these next gens to keep them running consistent, but you got to just find that line and tiptoe it. And it's about the width of a fishing line, from driving it right on the ragged edge to overdriving it. And these guys are doing a really good job of staying just on that backside of the line.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Deal was right on that fishing line, if not in braiding the fishing line, however you want to word it there, because he hit the wall 3 and 4. Finally, Nerney's able to get third spot. We were talking a little bit before that McClendon was running a little bit faster than Gresh. That has not continued as a trend. Last time by Gresh, a 1/10 of a second up. That gap slowly starting to get bigger. But Jeremy Brown trying to work himself back through the field. Remember, he led a myriad of laps, more so to be specific, 15 of them. I guess that's not quite a myriad. It's a half-iad. Just making up things, because why not? Led 15 laps, but trying to get back to the front here. 2 seconds off the lead, but probably has the car to get to second, but I think they're all going to need help to get to Gresh.
Yeah, continuing along here, and Gresh, has settled it in, but nothing's guaranteed. Again, one more pit stop is guaranteed, so I'm curious to see if Gresh can really hold on to it through that pit stop here. Sean Bradley still trying to find a run here as he tries to get around that 73 down the inside. Sean Bradley dives low, holds on to it here, gets a great run here out of 2 and does clear, and is able to hold on to it there and move himself up positions back in 24.
Yeah.
A lap down, he needs to look for Michael Hopkins to get around Hopkins, who is several cars ahead.
Yeah, about 1 second on the clock, but that's about 5 cars in between. That would be our free pass spot. And the rate things are going, I wouldn't even put too much emphasis on the free pass, because I don't know if it's actually going to happen here. These triple bypass races, a lot of times they'll start off a little rough around the edges, and then they clean up, and when they clean up quick. And that seems to be the name of the game here, and what we are going to have amongst us in the rest of this race here. Again, October 12th, that's what we're racing if you're watching this live at Las Vegas, the OBD Birthday Bash 115 here, Triple Bypass Racing League. Tex Nichols, our series sponsor, just sponsored today's race, having some fun with his 61st birthday. Corey Silva in the booth and in the truck. Brad Dalton giving you guys the calls here. We're going to finish this month of October, heading to Portland, heading to Martinsville Speedway, heading to Pocono November 2nd, and then we'll have 3 races to round out Season 9. We're going to have North Wilkesboro, Atlanta, and then the Charlotte Motor Speedway, rounding out our Nichols Oils Pro Cup Series. You can also watch us on Tuesday nights with the ARCA Series here, as we are double the fun, double the series here with Triple Bypass. And all the while, Gresh has pulled out 1 1/3, about 2/10 faster a lap.
Don't forget, here in a few weeks, we'll also have Thursday nights with Xfinities that will be showing pit stops.
We got to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we got that figured out already. Pit stops are alive, by the way. Michael Hopkins is in again. Adam Shaw is in. Matt Harmon has pit. Looks like several other drivers starting to think about those last pit stops they have to make for fuel here, as they have to go through, and you don't have a choice at this point but to pit in, which is very interesting to sort of see that some guys, are pitting now. I figured some guys would run it to the ragged edge and try to hold on to it and get all the way to the end of the fuel load, maybe, fingers crossed, toes crossed, for another caution.
Yeah, let's just watch our we'll go back to Gresh, and this will answer some questions about early pitting. Why did I pick Gresh? Because I have to look at the picture now. But anyways, 1.3 seconds of fall off. So every lap that you pit ahead of your competition, you're gaining 1.3 seconds of time on the racetrack, assuming that you don't screw anything up. Cough, cough, Sean Bradley. The problem with that is you're gaining time on the front end and you're losing time on the back end. And the million-dollar question in the racing world is which one is more worth giving up and or going for?
Well, and it's funny, you know, with a lot of my road course knowledge, I would tell you it depends on the road course. It depends on what track you're at. But it seems like a lot of times here in NASCAR, it just depends on what stage of the race you're in. And if you time it right, and if you have enough time left to the end of the race to really run those tires and force the advantage to come back your way. It really is just a numbers game here in NASCAR. It's not track dependent here in the oval world. It is just your skill level dependent and the weather dependent. There's a little bit more that can go into it calculation wise to figure out where you're at. More drivers starting to drop in the pits now, and it looks like Kyle Gresh is in. That gives the lead to McClendon here, who's 32 laps on a stint, but Gresh into the pits here. Let's see what he does time-wise. I'll keep an eye on that here. On the back end, as you keep an eye here up front as McClendon, Nerney, and Jeremy Brown battle out. And Gresh missed his pit box. He had to back up into the stall.
That'll be catastrophic. And let's watch our turn 4 cam. And you did not see a pink and blue car come in, but you did see Nicholas Deal head on into the pits. And that was at about the 5th spot. This track has a very, very difficult pit road. I don't think we've touched on that enough here. Perhaps someone will come down this time by. I think by the looks of it, McClendon's getting ready to pit. We'll just go on board with him, and you can just see how difficult it is here coming off. Actually, no, he won't, because he won't pit.
He didn't pit there. Nobody in the top 3 pit. They're going to hold it on and keep it going. And honestly, the thing about green flag pit stops with a difficult entry into pit lane, if someone screws that up, it's a very easy way to see a caution come out. So you just sort of have to, you know, if you're running up front, you're truly gambling here in Vegas. When you pit, you got to basically wonder, is someone going to mess it up and give you basically a free pit stop here?
Yep, and you talked about the 77, rather not the 77, the 27 having some pit road issues, and that will probably not come to fruition here with as long as McClendon is staying out. You know, we talked about a second and a half, as here comes Freeman, here comes Benson into the pits. With all the time that McClendon's costing himself, maybe losing a second from that little faux pas by Gresh, I don't think it's really going to amount to anything. And here comes McClendon getting it woed down, and he had a nice smooth entry, as did Nerney. A little lock up there, but hopefully nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah, it seems like everyone going through, and I will tell you a little bit of back-end knowledge that I have. McClendon and Nerney talk about race strategy a lot in the back end, so it doesn't surprise me to see McClendon pull down and Nerney come right behind, because I have a feeling that Nerney is going to try to take advantage of McClendon pitting in, come out with a friend, they can draft together, try to run through, and then final couple of laps, gloves come off. As we have just a few guys who still need to pit here. Jeremy Brown, who is now in, right as I say his name, William Emmert, who needs to pit in, Nichols needs to come in, and Corey needs to come in. And then from there, we'll see how things go. As right now, I am showing race leader Steve McClendon, as Hopkins is actually going to clear him here around the outside on the exit with Sean Bradley. We'll see if Steve McClendon can fire that car up and go through, but he's ahead of Kyle Gresh.
Now, and that is very interesting. Well, actually, done. 10 second. That's a 2-tire pit stop, if I can do some mental math here, by Steve McClendon, and Kyle Gresh 4 tires. And you know, the long call strategy by McClendon to stay out later, take 2 tires. He got the lead, but Gresh only has to gain about 1.5 seconds, and he has 4 fresh ones. So I'd be hard pressed to find a way to to make this work unless the handling perhaps works better on 2 tires, depending on the setup, depending on, the fall off and all that fun stuff. Perhaps this is actually a good thing. But Tex Nichols, is this the first laps he has led this season? Very short-lived, as he is now in the pits himself, but did technically register a lap led.
Yeah, hey, a lap led for Tex. Happy birthday. There we go. Out Corey, last car that needs to pit. So right now, really your top 5, McClendon, Gresh, Brown, Hopkins, Deal. This is interesting to see here. And what I'll tell you right now in terms of lap times, McClendon 29.995, Gresh a 30.076. So they are running less than half a tenth from each other here at the moment.
Which is very interesting, again, on the 2 tires, which in the past here on the iRacing service, 2 tires was always just it was an impossibility. It was not even something that was ever considered, because it just made the car unpossibly, yeah, I fail English, unpossibly loose. Apparently it works a little better. I think the 46 took a dive there, not to the back bumper, but to get close to the back of Gresh. But need I say that McClendon's actually running faster now.
Yeah, McClendon very clearly just cut the parachute and is trying to run it through here to the end, as we're 15 laps to go. He's got to keep this momentum up, but right now he looks really good and set to do so as it goes through.
Oh my goodness! No! Brad, when I go quiet, it's because I'm trying not to say what I want to say. So I'm going to need you to fill in here for me.
All right, let's watch this instant replay here. So this is Kyle Gresh going through, a tap to the rear. Look, he almost Ricky Rudd it. And then the car just snaps back to the right, straight into the wall.
I love...
And Kyle will go searching next week. And that is Jeremy Brown, and I don't think Jeremy meant to... In Jeremy's defense, I don't think Jeremy meant to do that.
I mean, let me just clear the air here. I don't think he was intentionally trying to wreck him. But, PTR TV unfiltered here. That's how we call these here. That was 2 laps in a row that he absolutely drove the beans into the corner. Like, he drove it absolutely farther than it was ever normally going to stick, and harder than he's ever done it before. So I just don't fully get where that move was going. But yeah, I've just typically driving it deep in the corners. And again, this is just more racing etiquette for those, family friends who just maybe they don't know as much. They're just watching on behalf of a family member. When you drive aggressively to the entry of a corner, except in very, very, very rare conditions, usually you are going to sacrifice the center of the corner and you're going to go slower on the exit and be slower down the straightaway. It's very rare that you can pull all of it together, which is why I don't understand where that move was going to go, and I could have saw that happening about 3 laps in a row. And that's why I'm a little upset, but again, they like that I get upset. They want me to get upset. They want me to be true. They want me to be genuine. They told me not to censor myself. So that's Corey, and you can correct me, tell me I'm wrong, but I'll shut up now.
Corey, you know that I'm the first person to tell you that you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong on that. I'll let the drivers, if they think you're wrong, tell you that, but I don't think they will. This just threw an absolute shakeup to everything. Somehow, we got lucky and completed a full green flag pit stop cycle. That is the one thing that I can say out of that.
We didn't call this out, but Jeremy actually is on the same 2-tire strat that McClendon is. So the 27 is the only, he was on the 4 tires, as we know. But it's 2 tires on the top 2 who seemingly was the speed call. And if you are McClendon, I'm just going to say watch your mirror, because you know that 46, if there's a gap and he's a car like back, he's going to drive it in there to the back bumper.
If car gap. We know how this is going to go. It's going to be interesting to see how Jeremy handles this. But McClendon, you don't become a multi-time champion in this league and a back-to-back Cup Series champion in this league without knowing how to handle a little bit of pressure. But he hasn't won a race yet this season. Pressure's going to be mounting. The questions come in week after week. McClendon, when are you going to win a race? McClendon, where's that win going to come? And he said it last week. He said that Vegas was feeling pretty good for him. So for Steve McClendon, let's see if he can stop being second fiddle here to somebody else and see if he can get this run here for the final 10 laps to the end.
Yeah, we will see what happens. 10 laps to go. Hopefully, this doesn't turn the way of a figure 8 demo derby, and we can get ourselves a good, clean run to the end. And different strats up front. 2 tires up front. Row 2 is 4 tires on back. We have a heat cycle. Perhaps that will have some effect either way, good or bad. But let's find out. Can McClendon get into victory lane for the first time this season? 10 laps to go on the loud pedal. Deal and Brown will battle for second here. Looks as though Brown gets sole possession of the spot. And let's see what happens as we funnel off into 1 and 2.
I think there might have been a little bit of wheel spin there up for the second row as everyone's going to get going here. Everyone coming out of 2 looking fairly good. And right now it is Nicholas Deal trying to hold on to the top 2. Jeremy Brown, Steve McClendon. This is going to be the big fight. And in the back, I see a big wreck.
I think that's Kunman.
And we're still green, though. That is Kunman, and we're still green.
Now that is hard impact. I just, the algorithm... The algorithm likes a certain thing for cautions, so we'll just do this very quickly because I think we got something going on up front. He got turned by Freeman, hospital wobbled the fence, but he never got sideways enough for Barney to throw the flag out. But we are side by side for the race lead. Brown is to the outside of McClendon. I would argue that's the place to be. I would think McClendon would want to do a side draft, but they're going to run 8 lanes apart there on the front stretch and nearly make contact on the entry of 1 and 2.
Ooh, McClendon trying to send it up in there. He wanted a little bit of side draft, I think, as we go on the exit of 2. Side by side they go. Brown has a little bit better of an exit coming into 3. It is going to be McClendon down the inside, Brown to the outside yet again. And mid-corner, they're still side by side. Caution. But Jeremy Brown on the end, there's a caution.
This is the after caution here. It was already out, but Emmert having a struggle street situation. Jeremy Brown registered as the leader, by the way. He got turned by Melton, or came across Melton's nose. We will dissect that a little bit further. No, Emmert came down. And Corner missed that by a whisker there. And then here's the after wreck that caused Risto a little bit of contact.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Risto to kind of get caught up there on the very back end. But what'll be interesting to really watch here moving forward is the fact that Jeremy Brown was registered as the leader at the time of caution. That puts McClendon here trying to go through. So we'll see what McClendon can do on the restart to try to take things through. And look who's P3.
Zach Nerney. I am just preemptively reading our forums here. Our forums. This is how old I am. Our Discord here. And interesting update, announcement of sorts. Sean Bradley is pulling his playoff spot from what I'm interpreting. He says he's going to be gone for the next 4 weekends. Doesn't want to tie up a spot when he knows he's going to miss some of the playoffs, so that's going to change the standings, open up somebody who is outside of the cut line.
Well, that's going to be huge for somebody, so it'll be interesting to see next week how that updates who is there. So unfortunate to see Sean Bradley going to be out, for a large majority, and unfortunate because he's been such a strong competitive runner this season. To kind of see it send off in that way. Got a feel for him there, as the 84 is the wave around car, and we're still coming around here. It should be 4 to go when we get the green flag. I think it'll be 1 to go this time by.
Yeah, we will be in regulation. Of course, I believe it's 2 green, white checkers. If the Avail needs, hopefully we don't need them, but it'll be McClendon's job to do what very few have done, and that's get a good jump from the outside. It's just very difficult to time it, and he'll have that task amongst him. But Nerney, you could argue he will be in the best position outside of the leader, because if he can kind of time that run, maybe he can get right to Jeremy Brown's bumper and try to make something happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And here's the big thing. Depending on what those two do, you've got plenty of strong drivers behind there who could find the mix. I mean, you've even got Dylan Freeman and Elton Wu in the mix. Matt Harmon back there, who is a driver that's really strong. You've got pole sitter Michael Hopkins in P9, who would love to try to have a run forward. Depending on how this goes, I mean, nothing's over till Barney throws the checkered flag. So buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in Sin City Virtual, and somebody's feeling lucky.
Yep, it is our back-to-back champion trying to get his first win of the season, 7 races in, or it's Jeremy Brown trying to get his second win of the season, add in the playoff points. Zach Nerney trying to get his first ever triple bypass win. Nicholas Deal, I'm not sure on his career stats, but certainly it'd be the first win that we've covered. The Wooster, good recovery, and then Dylan Freeman there. Again, 4 tires, third on back. Our top 2 on 2 fresh tires, but that seemingly has been the faster call for the end of the race. But that pace car is going to take the left-hand turn into the pit road. Will it be for the final time? I guess we'll find out together in about 6 miles. Pace car pulls in into the Echo Park restart zone. What kind of run will the leader get? Can McClendon stay with him? Answer is no on the loud pedal. Let's go.
And now for McClendon, it's just a battle to hold second place here. Jeremy Brown getting the jump. Let's see how everyone sorts out behind. They've got 6 miles to finish this race out right now. Elton Wu up into 4th place. Hopkins trying to battle through. Harmon's going to make his way forward. All the while, Jeremy Brown going all the way down low down the front stretch. And you get behind those top 6, it's an absolute cluster in the background. 3 wide, 4 wide. I mean, I don't really know what they're trying to do here. We're going to come 3 to go at the line, and 6 cars in the wall on the exit of 4.
3 laps to go here at Las Vegas. The OBD Birthday Bash, 1:15 here, and will we make it to the white? If we can make it to the white, we make it to the checkers, but this pack here is certainly pushing the waters of that very closely. Some contact there, Melton and somebody else mid-pack. They're still 3 wide, not missing anything up front here, as Brown has pulled out 4 car lengths, but this is where the juiciness is, and the question mark as to whether we finish this clean.
Yeah, this mid-pack 4 wide battle is really where things are going on. McClendon up front, not catching Jeremy Brown, but Nerney right on the back of McClendon. I mean, look at this 4 wide here in the middle. 3 wide, 4 wide, everyone just elbows out going through. Yeah, I made that pun one more time. I don't really care. Let's see how they go here through 3 and 4, and up front battle for second. We've got a pass setting up as they come through. Nerney's going to go down the inside here outside McClendon. Jeremy Brown will take the white flag. 1.5 miles left to go, Corey.
We will get this race finished under the green flag. Zach Nerney trying to go for a career high here in triple bypass, getting by our back-to-back champion, but Jeremy Brown led a good portion of the beginning of this race. We're wrecking in the back. We'll check that out later, but Brown led some laps, had a little bit of contact, probably not too happy with how that worked out, but he'll be happy with the result here. Tex Nichols going to get lucky. He's going to spin the 777s and win here at Las Vegas. Someone is going to finish this race backwards by the looks of it. Actually, not quite making it to the line. That's Peter Dillon.
Man.
And we'll quickly...
That was a great final lap there.
Yeah, we'll quickly show you what happened with that wreck. I know everyone does like to see these last lap wrecks, so we'll not detriment you of that. 15 of Hamlin goes up the track. That was the flag car of corner into Benson. And then they're still wrecking Derek Catt. Remember, his race started so well. Something happened with Peter Dillon. Oh, Peter Dillon got... that was with someone there, and he just Tokyo drifted there and made contact with... I think that was Kunman. And I thought he was going to...
He almost held on to it.
I thought he was going to do the Chastain and finish the line backwards, but not quite here. But Jeremy Brown is going to get his second win here of the season. One at Auto Club, one here at Las Vegas. So clearly the intermediates are his cup of tea, Brad. And there's 2 intermediates, well, I guess 1.5 of them, to finish the playoffs off. So that's going to be a good sign for him.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling confident here as we'll pull up the post-race results here, kick off some post-show fun, and let the burnouts happen because Jeremy Brown clearly feeling good with it there. McClendon second, Nerney in third, and Nicholas Deal managed to deal out a 4th place here playing the cards in Vegas. Dylan Freeman found 5th, and Elton Wu found P6. Michael Hopkins in 7th, Daniel Williams P8. Al Corey, the boss man, managed to pull out a P9 here, and then Kyle Dewey, did he do it? Well, he found top 10, so I'd say he did something.
And then we'll finish things out here. We got Keith Handel on a chaotic day. Gets it's an 11th in the 15 car. Melton with a 12th. Josh Corner in 13th. Matt Harmon, he ran a lot better than the result will show there with 14th. Tex Nichols, the birthday boy, and the sponsor, 15th. Then we have Ristow, Fisher, Benson, Catt, who started the race off fabulously. Adam Shaw. And I'll just finish things out here. We got Peter Dillon, who nearly finished backwards. We got Alan Kunman. Kyle Gresh, probably going to be upset about how that one ended getting turned there. John Naj Crutchley won the point. He won the points championship. Yeah, he would love me to say that. He won the paint race prize thingy. We got William Emmert, Sean Bradley, Alex Squire, Alex Goff, Ben Harcum, Jeff Slaughter, and then Barton and Brian Davis never took to the grid here today, but Brad's going to run down to the victory circle here and have a word with our race winner.
Jeremy Brown, 2 wins in a season, sir. That was a heck of a race. Talk me through those final 4 laps on that restart.
Good story.
Jeremy? Yeah. All right. Jeremy? Mic check.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on push to talk. I didn't realize it.
That's about as bad as every time I forget to unmute. Man, Jeremy, good run. Talk me through the final 4 laps.
I need to back up a little bit before that. I don't know exactly. I haven't looked at it yet what happened between me and Kyle. If that was my fault, I sincerely apologize. I felt like I was there. I know it was really close. But, it was just me and him going for the same spot. He needed to get to the bottom to keep me from getting there, and it was just a racing thing. But the last 4 laps, I was... racing the best in the business when it comes to Steve, and when that caution fell, that's what won me the race, because it's just so hard to catch back up once you get that little jump off the restart.
Yeah, man, and I'll tell you right now from the view with Gresh, we kind of looked at it here on the broadcast. It was hard racing, man. So when moments like that happen, I got to ask, will you talk with, Kyle, kind of clear the air after the race?
Oh, absolutely. I already messaged him during the race, which, it's probably a little too soon. I know he's upset. I would be, but yeah, I'll definitely talk to him because I got a ton of respect for him. I watch his streams and all. I was watching it a little bit earlier today. He was playing the NASCAR game, so I think a lot of him, and I hate that it happened. I enjoy racing around him, and me and him have we're 1 and 2 in the Xfinity points too. I don't want to make any enemies. I want to race it out between us.
Absolutely. And Jeremy, kind of looking ahead here for the rest of the season, you've got 2 wins now. You and Ty Bass are the only drivers that have 2 wins so far in the season. How are you feeling going into the rest of the season? You're clearly locked in the playoffs.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little worried about Portland, but I'm already locked in. let's see, in North Wilkesboro, which is in the playoffs, that's kind of a wild card, and of course Atlanta is too, with it being a plate race. Charlotte's a good track for me, but we gotta have a chance once we get there.
Absolutely, man. Well, Jeremy, congratulations on your second win here of the season, man. It was great to watch and hard fought, and we'll see what happens in Portland next week.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all, once again, I'm sure y'all put on a heck of a show. You always do, and happy birthday, Tex, and thank you for Elite Designs for throwing this car together for me. It was kind of last minute. I asked for it like on Friday, and within an hour or two, he had it posted for me.
That's awesome, man. Jeremy, congratulations, and we'll catch up with you later.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great week.
Yeah.
And Corey, I believe you've caught up with, once again, second fiddle, Steve McClendon.
That win, ever so elusive, just knock it on the cusp every week, and almost had a chance at it today. We know how difficult those outside restarts are, and just couldn't quite time it, but just kind of summarize your night for us. We know the first stage didn't go too well for you.
Yeah, been my best weekend anyways, so just trying to make it work. No practice or anything like that, so I just made a mistake trying to throw the caution. I guess they had a wreck and needed a manual caution, and I was trying to throw it and hit the wheel and lost control, and that kind of stuff happens. So just tried to work it back from there, and then I don't know, second stage played out about as best that I hoped it could for me, for my strategy. And if we'd not gotten that last caution, or the caution that kind of busted up the green run, I think we had it covered. So like always, everybody knew we were here, and it sucks to not win, but it was a good points night. I know a couple of the other guys had some issues that run around us all the time, so hopefully kind of got the points lead back, keep that under control, and we'll just go on to the next week. We'll get it one of these days, man. It's coming. I feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it's too difficult, too odd for a two-time champion to get shut out for too long. I know next week a lot of guys have question marks on it with Portland. These next-gen cars never go in there in the real world. Very narrow track. Probably a lot of guys don't have experience there. I bet half the field probably doesn't even own the track better. But where do you stand at Portland, and what kind of confidence level do you bring into that place?
I feel great about it. I'm going to use it as a drop week and not run it. No, in all seriousness, no, I'm going to be out of town, so I'm not going to be able to race it. But I will be on this week, doing everything we do for it to get it ready. And, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what the guys we got in here that can do. We got some really good road racers, so it'll be fun to see the show they put on next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be fun for us indeed as well. Any final words before we let you go, man?
No, just thanks to Tex for sponsoring everything, and thanks sponsoring the race tonight. I know it's like his birthday, so tell him happy birthday, and say hey to all the friends and family that are watching. I hate that I can't get a win, but we'll get around to it one of these days. And then my buddy with Catamount Solutions, Nathan, he's the one that keeps the internet on and the beer's flowing. So we'll have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Yeah, well, Steve, worst case, you can craft in the championship too. You don't have to win the championship, even though it's not the fun way, but I'm sure it's coming too. We'll talk to you. All right, man. Sounds good. Y'all take it easy. And now third place, you're effectively on the payroll with him, Mr. Zach Nerney. Zach, sir. So finally you're starting the consistency build up here in Oval. For someone who hasn't ran Oval in a while, seeing you up into third, talk me through your night, man.
Oh, it was an up and down night. Started P29, did not get the qualifying run I wanted. Got caught up in that first caution, got some damage, so I had to pit a couple times for repairs, and just managed to claw my way back into it.
Listen, I got to talk about the final 4 laps, though. I know in the back end you told me you were sweating, but final 4 laps there going wheel to wheel with a multi-time Cup champion of Steve McClendon. Looks like just came up a little bit short. What do you think it would have taken to get past him?
Probably about 5 more laps. I was really hoping that the 2-tire fall off on the heat cycles would have led to some slower pace by them, but it obviously didn't. They were able to hold on.
Yeah, looking ahead, man, it's Portland next week. Obviously, I know you through Elbows Out, which is a oval or a road series. You're running here. Can you channel some Wednesday night energy into Sunday and get this car going? We've talked about how it races like a GT3, which you're used to running.
Yeah, I don't really want to channel anything from EOR, if I'm being completely honest, because I can't get consistent finishes there. Hoping for something new, with some road courses in the Cup car.
I think it'll be exciting to watch, man. Zach, congratulations on the P3. The consistency's building. Take it easy, and I'll catch up with you later, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so that'll wrap up a show here, PTR TV. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, help us out with that on our mission to 1,900 subscribers. Chaotic day here from Las Vegas. We had our clean runs, we had our long stretches, and then ended in a little bit of chaos. But Jeremy Brown gets the win, even though he's a little not as excited as he would like to be about it.
Yeah, that was a wild race there. All the way through, you said it. He didn't sound excited for his second win here. I'm sure there will be some hard talks there in the background for him with Kyle Gresh and seeing how that goes. It's exciting to sort of see the competitiveness that is continuing to build here in Triple Bypass. I feel like there's more and more names competing at the front week after week, Corey, and as we're getting into the end of this regular season, heading towards the playoffs, it's going to make for a very exciting final few rounds of this Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely. We won't want to miss any of it. And again, stay tuned for the next broadcast Tuesday night with the Triple Bypass ARCA Series, Wednesday with the EOR Elbows Out Racing Series, Thursday with ECAR, and then we'll be back with you for some more action next week. That's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.